How's it going today, guys? So today I'm going to show you my guaranteed 3-step process that will result in you going completely broke. Now, there aren't a lot of guarantees out there anymore, but I can almost promise you with absolute certainty that if you guys follow these 3 steps, you yourself can be broke. Now, it's actually funny because it seems like a lot of people are already following this simple 3-step strategy because according to a CNBC article, 49% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck. So if you have a lot of money and you're saying that I don't want all this money, I want to be in a stressful situation where I don't have enough money to pay my bills, I want to be paycheck to paycheck, well, the very first thing you need to do is buy a car that you can't afford. But if you were trying to determine whether or not you could afford a car, you would take 10% of your annual take-home pay, and that would be the maximum annual car payment. So let's go ahead and do some math on this here, okay? So the average salary in Q4 of 2016 for a person was $44,148. Now, if you were filing single and you had no tax deductions, your take-home pay would be $31,366. So using that 10% rule, where your car payment should be no more than 10% of your take-home income, you could realistically afford a car payment of $261.38 per month. However, that doesn't make a lot of sense because for $261, you're not going to be able to buy a very nice car. It's not going to be very fast. It'll probably be a used car. And I'm guessing you guys want something nicer. You want a nice car. So that is why the average car payment is $503 per month. Almost double what the average person could realistically afford following that 10% rule. So let's say you're somebody who wants to afford a $503 a month car payment. If you were following that 10% rule, you would need to have $5,030 a month of take-home income in order to realistically afford a monthly car payment of $503. But as we can see from this example here, the average take-home pay is far below that, but we're still gonna splurge. We're still gonna buy the new car because it's just nice. It's got leather seats. So now that you've managed to burn through $503 a month, let's take this a step further because most people, even if you bought a car you couldn't afford, you would still have a little bit of money left over. So let's see if we can get rid of the rest of your money. The second thing you need to do is rent for your entire life. Don't ever buy a house. Spend your entire life renting from somebody else. So when you own your home or when you own a piece of real estate, you are building up equity. Now, this is not the best way to save money, but do remember that a mortgage is sort of a forced savings plan because you're building up equity in an asset that's going to be appreciating. And at some point after you pay off your home, you own an appreciating asset free and clear. But you're not going to do that because you're trying to go broke. So what you're going to do is you're going to rent for your entire life and build up $0 in equity over the course of your entire life. Renters are literally throwing away money every single month, and they're making their landlords rich. So how much is this really going to cost you? Well, according to an article by Well Kept Wallet, they analyzed what it would cost to rent your entire life versus owning a home for your entire life. And the cost between those two things is just over $500,000. $500,000 is the cost difference of renting your entire life versus owning a home that you eventually pay off and then you live for free. But you're gonna rent. You wanna go broke. If you're watching this video, you're learning how to go broke, and this is what most people are doing. They are renting because they don't wanna buy a home. Now, I do understand that a lot of people do rent because they're not gonna stay in the area for a long period of time. And if that's the case, it does make sense to rent. But most people out there, if you're gonna be in a certain location for more than 5 years, you should buy a home unless you're trying to go broke. If you're trying to go broke, I think you should rent for your entire life. So at this point, we really have burned through a lot of your money. First of all, you're paying for a car you can't afford, and you're also throwing away hundreds, if not over $1,000 a month every single month. You're making your landlord rich, and in the process, you're building up $0 in equity. But some people would still have a little bit of money left over, and if you're trying to go broke, you want to get rid of all of that money. So the third and final thing that you need to do to follow my 3-step process of how to go broke is to buy the things you feel you deserve with credit cards. So here's the thing, as a kid, we would be visited by Santa Claus and he would bring us all of these wonderful gifts once a year. But the good news is, Christmas doesn't have to come once a year anymore thanks to our friends from Discover and other credit card companies, because we can buy the things we want and we don't have to pay for them today. So whatever you feel you deserve, whether or not you can afford it, because it's not about what you can afford, it's about what you really desire out of life. And if you desire something, go grab yourself a credit card and buy it for yourself, because you're trying to go broke. So what you need to do is buy the things that you feel you deserve and treat yourself to Christmas every single month. Think about how happy you will be. So according to Value Penguin, houses with a $0 or negative net worth on average have $10,308 in credit card debt. Now, what is the interest rate paid on that debt? I'm going to tell you right now. Value Penguin also analyzed interest rates on credit cards, and the average interest rate is 20.9%. So let's just go ahead and do some quick math on that figure. If you have $10,308 in debt and you're paying the average of 20.9% interest, you're going to be paying $2,154 each year before you put 1 penny on the principal. That is all interest. So that's it, guys. You've basically learned how to go broke in these 3 simple steps. Now, if you don't believe me, let me show you the numbers here. Now, as we said before, if you are a single person and you have no dependents, your average take-home pay is $31,366, and each month that amounts to $2,613. But the first thing you did is you bought a car that you could not afford. So take $503, the average car payment, off of that. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to rent for your entire life. You're going to build up $0 in equity, and in the process, you're paying on average about $1,000 to rent an apartment for yourself. Now, on top of that, let's say you're following the 3rd rule of how to go broke and you're buying things you feel you deserve on credit cards. If you were paying just the interest on this credit card, on $10,000 without putting 1 penny on principal, you're paying $180 a month in interest. So if you subtract those 3 things out, that leaves you with $930 a month to cover all of your expenses. Congratulations, you have gone broke. Obviously, this is not what you want to do. I just wanted to show you guys the 3 things that people do that will result in them going broke. And I want you guys to avoid making these 3 mistakes. Anyways, guys, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this information to be valuable and you know anybody else who might be interested in this, please feel free to share this video with other people. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video.